Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel again. So we are going to deal with the second part of Harappan Civilization. Those of you who have not saw the first part yet, please look into the playlist and do watch the first part. We are going to continue here. So the Harappan seals were made out of steatite, okay, and it had animal motifs and signs that are undeciphered to date. Now, why they had animal motif? What were the signs? What were the meaning of those signs? We will see that a little later. Now, IVC is also called Harappan culture. Seals, beads, weights, stone blades, and even baked bricks were in use. They were found in Afghanistan, Jammu, Balochistan, and Gujarat. Also called mature Harappan culture to distinguish it from early Harappa and late Harappan culture. Now, which are the mature Harappan sites? In Pakistan, you have Harappa, Gan, Periwala, Mohenjo-Daro, Kot Diji, Sukta Jandor, Amri, Balakot, Chanudaro, Cholistan. Yes, I know it's a little difficult to remember, but just keep listening to it so that you become familiar with it. In India, you have Nageshwar, Rangpur, Lothal, Dholavira, Kalibangan, Banavali, Mitathal, Rakhi Garhi, and Manda. Now, the civilization prior to mature Harappa, they knew pottery, agriculture, pastoralism, and crafts. There were no large building. There was a break between the early Harappa and Harappan civilization. That is, it is not contiguous. Okay, it's not continuous. Somewhere in between there was a gap. Mature Harappa developed in some of the areas of early Harappa. Early and mature Harappa had the same subsistence strategies, that is, survival strategies. Now let us see what were the food habits of these people and what were the animals that were reared at that point of time. Harappans ate plants, animals, and fish. Please note that Harappans ate fish also. Okay. Grains, wheat, barley, lentil, chickpea, millets, and sesame. Rice was used but rarely. Domestic animals were sheep, goat, buffalo, and pig. Wild animals, boar, deer, and gharial. Okay. Gharial. What is a gharial? Is it an endangered species? Where is it found in India? Find it out. Bones of fish and fowl were also found. Okay. Now let us see what were the agricultural practices of the time. Bull was known. Oxen was used for plowing. Now terracotta models of plow clearly show that plowing was done. And a plowed field was discovered in Kalibangan. So in Kalibangan, what do you have? Plowed field. Evidences of two crops grown together have been found here. Canal irrigation system was used in where? Shortugai, Afghanistan. Now you must understand here, Harappan region as in total is a rainfall deficit area. That is why they needed irrigation system. Dholavira had water reservoir. Copper tools may have been used for harvesting. Saddle querns were used for grinding cereals. Alright, now let us take Mohenjo-Daro in detail. Mohenjo-Daro is the most well-known site. It is divided into two. There is a smaller and a higher region within Mohenjo-Daro, which is called the Citadel. Buildings were constructed on mud brick platforms that gave them their height, physically separated by walls from lower town. Larger and lower, the section where it is larger and lower, that is the lower town. Walled buildings on platforms that served as foundation. So the lower town was walled actually, all right, and it was separated from the the citadel, served as foundation. Mass mobilization of labor is visible, obviously, because you had to lay down drains, you had to lay down streets, and then you had to construct houses, you had to segregate the city into two. So all this clearly shows that labor mobilization was done on a massive level. Now, what were the items used for construction? Sun-baked or dried bricks of standard ratio was used. Drainage system. Well-planned drainage system was used where streets with drains were laid out first and then houses were constructed. Okay. Citadel in Dholavira and Lothal were fortified and sections within town were walled. Citadel within Lothal, however, was not walled but built at a height. This shows the variation within the cities of Harappa. So it is not a uniform construction throughout Harappan civilization. We can see variations. Alright. Alexander Cunningham was the first Director General of ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India. He is often referred to as the father of Indian archaeology. So the residential buildings were in the lower towns of Mohenjo-Daro. It was centered around a courtyard, which is the center of all activity, and there were rooms surrounding it. There were no windows in walls at the ground level, and it also shows that from the main entrance, you did not get a direct view to the courtyard. So from these two things, we clearly understand that they definitely protected their privacy. Separate bathrooms, staircase and wells were present. Bricks were set in mortar, limestone, mud bricks and burnt bricks. The Citadel of Mohenjo-Daro had structures which were used for special public purpose, like the warehouse and great bath, which was constructed out of a mortar of gypsum. Burials. The dead were laid in pits. Some graves contain pottery and ornaments. However, Harappans did not believe in burying precious things with dead, unlike Egyptians. Now let us see what were the luxury items. Faience considered luxury, but spindle whorls were made out of it. So this actually creates a confusion. Now spindle whorl is something which is used for daily use. It's something meant for daily use. So faience made spindle whorl. So how is it rare or how is it precious? Again, we don't know much about it. Rare objects made of valuable materials are concentrated in larger settlements like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro than smaller settlements. There are no valuable objects in Kalibangan. So this should be read along with the earlier statement. See, plowed fields were discovered were in Kalibangan. So there could be a possibility that the people in Kalibangan were more into agriculture than maybe in craft production or any valuable objects they wouldn't have kept with them. All the gold in Harappa was recovered from hoards, basically pots. Now craft. So C for craft, C for Channudaro. So Channudaro, which is a small settlement compared to Mohenjo-Daro, exclusively devoted to craft production, which consisted of bead making, shell cutting, metal working, seal making and weight making. Beads were made from stones like carnelian, steatite. Now these two terms, you know it already. Two new items which we are finding in this chapter is jasper and quartz. Metals were copper and gold. Bronze is an alloy which is actually nothing but a mixture of copper and tin. Shells were used, faience were used, and terracotta or burnt clay was also used for what? Bead making. They had many shapes. They were painted and designs were etched on them. Techniques of making beads depended on material. Steatite could be easily worked with being very soft. Steatite powder was also used. Micro beads were made using steatite. Harappans knew grinding, polishing and drilling. Specialized drills were found in Channudaro, Lothal and Dholavira. Now let us take Nageshwar and Balakot. They are closer to the coast. Specialized center for shell objects. Obviously coastal area, so shells are available. Nageshwar and Balakot. Bangles, ladles and inlay were made out of shell objects. Finished products from Channudaro and Lothal were taken to Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Waste is one of the best indicator of craft work. Waste means the pieces that are chopped off or cut off. Specialized centers of craft production were undertaken in big cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Materials for craft production. Clay was locally available. Stone, timber and metal. They were procured from outside the alluvial plain. Procurement may have been done using bullock carts as indicated by terracotta models. Indus and its tributaries may also have been used for transportation. So you must understand that boats were in vogue at that point of time. Alright. Nageshwar and Balakot, like I told you again, coastal area, so availability of shell was there. Lapis lazuli came from Shortugai, Afghanistan. Carnelian from Lothal. Steatite from Gujarat and Rajasthan. Metal came from Rajasthan. Expeditions were made to the Khetri region of Rajasthan for copper and Karnataka for gold. These expeditions established communication. The Khetri area, that is the Ganeshwar Jodhpura culture, where non-Harappan pottery and unusual wealth of copper objects have been found. Now copper, basically it has been found in Oman. Harappan copper and Omani copper have traces of nickel, indicating that these two had trade connections between them. Harappan jars have been found in Oman. Mesopotamian text refers to Oman as Magan. Dilmun is the name for Bahrain. Meluha is for Harappa. Copper found here, that is in Oman also has got, in Mesopotamian text also has got what? Traces of nickel. Mesopotamian text talks about products from Meluha, which are carnelian, lapis lazuli, copper, gold and varieties of wood. Mesopotamian text refers to Meluha as land of seafarers, that is ships and boats depicted on the seal. So clearly what it means is that Harappan people did travel by sea. Mesopotamian seals were cylindrical, but some had motifs derived from the Harappan region. So Mesopotamian seal is in cylindrical shape. Persian Gulf seal is in round shape. Harappan seals are either rectangular or square in shape. Of Bahrain carried Harappan motifs. Local Dilmun weights followed the Harappan standard. Seals, scripts and weight. Now why do you need sealings? Sealings are required so that especially for long distance communication, to identify the center, as well as to see to it that the product which is being sent over long distance, it is not tampered with. Writing was from left to right, probably the name and title of the owner. Animal motif may have been used to convey messages to people who could not read. Precise system of weights made out of chert, no markings and generally cubical. So chert is again another material which was used to make standards of weights. Okay, and no markings was there. Harappans were aware of what two systems, binary and decimal. Binary system was used for smaller jewelry. Heavier objects were were weighed using decimal system. Metal scale pans have been found. By 1800 CE, most of mature Harappan cities such as Cholistan had been abandoned. There was an expansion of population into Gujarat, Haryana and western UP. The time period from 1900 BCE indicate a rural way of life in late Harappan or successor cultures. Understand here, earlier I told you bricks were produced in a standard size. Alright, but that does not mean it came from a single center. But there was uniformity throughout from Jammu to Gujarat. Find out which is, now Gujarat, you know, Dholavira is one area. Dholavira, Lothal, etc. is located in and around Gujarat. Okay, but tell me in Jammu, what is the name of the Harappan, mature Harappan civilization? Find it out from your map. No armor-clad warrior remains have been found, clearly showing what that whether Harappans indulged in war, whether there was any warfare as such, whether they fought with other cultures, no evidences are there for it. Areas of late Harappa, Jhukar, Cemetery H, Swat, late Siswal, Rangpur 2. This is very lesson number, so try to remember them. Alright, the names itself except for Jhukar and late Siswal, every other name is a little funny to remember, like Cemetery H and Swat, then Rangpur 2. Okay, so just remember these names. Alright, so next topic what we are going to handle will be the third part of IVC, which is from the Introduction to Art and Culture chapter. With that, obviously we'll come to an end of this IVC series. So tell me, how did you like the second part in the comment section, and as usual, revise it again. Take care.